Good afternoon, and welcome to everyone in the community. We are currently sitting at 10 participants in our chat. This is the second episode of State of the Grizz. We're very excited to be with you again another week. Um, I believe the internet is saying this is day 375 of the quarantine, otherwise known as March 38th. Um, and my hope is that as we start this chat, that everybody is doing well and in good spirits and holding strong in this time. Dean Pryor, any welcome comments?
Yeah, good afternoon, Grizzlies. It's such a pleasure to be here today, to have this opportunity to chat with you. Really looking forward to an engaging conversation, for an opportunity to discuss programs and opportunities that are available to while you are on spring break, hoping that you continue to stay plugged in and do the things that you need to do towards your academic and personal success. One of the things that we're going to talk about today is how you engage to check in, like we touched on a little bit last week, on your emotional, physical, and mental health, so that you stay healthy during this pandemic. I'm just going to ask Nestor this microphone, please. Um, so so that you can stay healthy during this pandemic. Through these ever-changing and tumultuous times, we have to have each other's back, and that's what this is about. We've got your back, and we want to make sure that you know that we are here to support you. We're here to engage with you, as we all are going, through our own version of COVID-19 during these times. So, like I said, I look forward to the conversation with students and the chat. I'm hoping that will allow some, or there'll be time for some students to chat with me directly, and also give some time for them to ask Mr. Bennett, from our peer mentoring program, some questions about the services, and maybe even give us a little peek at some of the things that he's been doing to keep himself emotionally well, um, and engaged in things that are going on in mentoring, and some of the things, like I said, that he's doing to keep himself up. So thank you, Nestor.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. And so, as you mentioned, we are here for episode 2 with our guest speaker, and that is none other than Mr. Andrew Bennett, otherwise known as the Associate Director for Peer Mentoring. Um, and we brought him on because we feel like he's got some knowledge, information, and stuff that he's going to share with us. I'm going to mute everybody real quick because I could do that. And then Charles and Andrew, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourselves. All right, perfect. So, Andrew, welcome to State of the Grizz. How are you today?
Doing well, sir. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
No, awesome. Thank you for agreeing to be with us. And so, as I explained to you offline, the reason that we wanted to bring you onto the show is that we've developed some new ways of communicating with the students and keeping them engaged, specifically through our peer mentoring program, which you currently sit at the head of.
Mhm.
And so we want to help give the community awareness around the different things that you and your team are doing, the different ways that our students and community could log in and connect with you all, and then after that, get a little bit about what's Andrew doing during this time to keep himself sane in what is a nutty time for everyone. So I'm gonna throw up the image first so that we could start the conversation there, and then I'll give you a space to kind of just introduce yourself, your team, and give us a quick intro as to what you guys got going on.
Sounds good. Hello, everybody on the call. I miss your faces. I see some names, and I haven't seen since March, I guess, face to face. So hope everybody's doing well, as Nessa said. But as you've been adjusting, the peer mentoring program has been, I guess, rolling with the punches as well. So first thing up on the screen is our application process, which is still underway. We extended our deadline to April 19th, which is a Sunday. So we're giving students CUNY-wide from to enjoy the rest of their spring break and use the spring break to actually complete the application, which again is due April 19th, Sunday. So anybody on the call, please encourage your peers, your colleagues, your students to apply. Any CUNY student can apply to be a peer mentor. We hire from across the board. Most of our students are current Gutman students or Gutman alum, but again, we do hire from all senior colleges as well, as long as they have a 2.75 GPA and above for FYE first year experience peer mentors. They could apply. 3.0 is for our meetup peer mentors. But again, anybody at 2.75 GPA or above is encouraged to apply. If they have any questions, our contact information is on the flyer, the website is on the flyer, and our contact information is there. Paramentoring@gutman.cuny.edu, or they can email me directly, andrew.bennett@gutman.cuny.edu. That's our first thing. Unless you want to go to the next slide.
Which one is the next slide? Because I got like
well, I'll just keep talking. You can throw it up. But outside of that, our academic support is still available online as well during spring break. Usually during breaks, weekends, we don't have any peer mentors on shift. But being at a spring break and we're adjusting with the times, and most of our students will be home, meetups are available online as well. And each subject is a link that'll take you to Blackboard Collaborate, and those links are on the flyer. So it is our main meetup flyer, which is available on the website. You can go to our Instagram page, Gutman Mentors, our Instagram, or you could go to the GCC Instagram page, Gutman GCC. Is it Gutman GCC? It's Gutman CC, right? The Instagram. It's slipping my mind right
now. The Gutman Instagram is Gutman CC, and then the SGA Instagram is Gutman.SGA.
Right, and at both Instagram pages, you'll be able to find the information for academic support. The flyer that's up right now is just letting everybody know that during spring break, our services are still available. As I mentioned, meetups are ready, and we also have a Den chat room. So we wanted to recreate what we have on campus. A lot of students stop by the Den, which is an information commons in between classes, just to socialize, use our computers, find mentors. That's a way to engage with staff in between classes or downtime. So we didn't want to lose that aspect of our program, which is a huge component. And you can't really quantify that. It's just an opportunity to connect and engage. And I know people miss that visibility. So we created an online chat room, which is available daily, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. At any given moment, there'll be at least 2 mentors in the chat room. You can just pop in at any given time, chop it up, talk about, what you're watching on TV, how you're dealing with this, kind of similar to this, what we have now, but 11 to 5 daily. Mentors will be on shift and you can reach out just for social engagement or any type of academic support.
Thank you for that, Drew. Really do. And also want to add that, and I don't know if Nestor, if you still have the flyer from last week with all of the service links, but our academic support center, our UMOC tutors, the mentors, wellness, accessibility, all of our services remain available during the spring break. Because as Mr. Bennett said, we're really trying to, not only keep the engagement going, but also keep the support available to you, as we want to make sure that you have all of, the things at your fingertips that you might want or need during this time, so that you can continue being successful. So again, thank you, Drew, for that. Can you just, tell us, like I said, some of the things that we wanted to chat with you all about today, and again, give students at some point an opportunity to write in and ask some questions is, can you tell us, I shared last week some of the things that I've been doing to stay emotionally healthy and engaged. What's that look like for you, and maybe even some of the things that you've talked with mentors about and staying engaged?
So I'll be transparent. The first week was really, really rough. I'm an extreme extrovert, and that's not, the misconception is that extroverts, is really social and they want to be in the limelight. And while that might be true for me, what the real definition is where you get your energy from. So I get my energy from being around people, from, talking to students in the hallway, just kind of they did give me life, so being away from all that, being isolated in these 4 walls. I'm in a studio and the walls are I felt like they were getting smaller. and the weather wasn't that nice the first week, so I was like inside a lot. But since then, I've been doing a little better about getting, well, a lot better actually. I have a bike, so I've been able to bike a lot. I have a driveway, so I've created like a outdoor gym kind of situation. So I've been able to get outside, get some sunlight, um, using social media apps to kind of connect with people via FaceTime. There's an app called House Party, and in the app you could kind of create these chat rooms to do different games, trivia, socialize. Zoom, of course, and again, I know Zoom hit this last week with a lot of not allocations, but just the security issues that's been going on with Zoom. So I'm not going to promote Zoom, but it has been a network for me to connect with people, doing like weekend brunches, getting together, and just socializing in that and using that platform. I know my mentors, we've been doing weekly calls on Microsoft Teams, and that's been a good way to get to connect with everybody. It's been a while since I've seen their faces, so just using technology to socialize as much as possible. Netflix has been getting a lot of my time, I will admit, but this past weekend I picked up a book. I started rereading The Alchemist, which is a really good book if you've never read it. I feel like I'm in a good place in my life to reread it. I think I'll be able to take something different from it. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you for that,
Yeah.
Drew. Christian Balthazar, added something in the chat around every day feeling like the same day. So, one of the things that folks have been struggling with, while you want to have some routine, and you want to, build some habits, how do you also break it up so that you don't feel like it's just one long day where you can really feel like, you've got 5 days, of the week and there's some weekend and you can, to use a euphemism, chop it up a little bit so
Right.
that things feel unique, but still able to be productive and
Yeah,
engaged when you need to.
absolutely. That's a really good point. And I make a list, and I would get up and go get my notebook, but I make a list of things that I need to do every day. And that's something I do at work also. And I make my list in the morning while I'm snoozing, Instagramming in the morning. I always make a list of things I need to get done throughout the day. And that helps me kind of separate tasks and not to have it feel like one long blurred out day. And keeping some type of routine. I know it's real easy to take naps throughout the day or stay up late, sleep in, but keeping that routine of going to bed by a certain time, waking up at a certain time, keeping that routine has helped out a lot, and making sure that I get out every day, whether it's just taking a walk around the block, using my bike. And I rode out to Coney Island the other day. You don't know where I live, but that's about an hour ride. So riding out to Coney Island, riding back, just trying to stay as physically active as possible.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know you're trying to get out, but we also have to, I think, keep mindful of the social distancing
Right.
streets, and wanting to make sure we limit those things, and those outdoor activities that put us beyond, I guess, the length of our doorways, things like that, just so that we can, beat this thing and do what we need to do to, flatten the curve, I think is the phrase that they're going with right now. But I agree, making lists and really taking some time to plot and plan things out can absolutely be healthy. How are you feeling about like engaging in Zoom calls? I don't know about you, but I feel like I went through a week of not seeing my colleagues, and only really talking to folks, and then all of a sudden I see everyone's face every day. But it's like, and I'm gonna date myself a little bit here. It's like the Brady Bunch intro piece.
Right.
Everyone is in, or the Hollywood Squares where everyone has their own little box and you see their face. Some folks are live, some folks are just put up a kind of a pic that they've had from 5 years ago. Some of us 20 years ago. Mine is at least 10 years old. But how are you feeling about engaging in those things, and what types of tips would you give to students as they engage in those Zoom, WebEx, Teams types of engagements?
It's been interesting. I think that is definitely going to reshape the way we engage and the way we think about meetings, and productivity being away. So as I'm still processing how I'm feeling about being able to work from home. There is something to be said about that face-to-face communication and just being able to process things with your team and come up with creative solutions that we're missing a little bit. So I would never trade the online connection for the face-to-face interaction. But I guess for students, it is a step into the professional world, and that not the I know right now everything is, especially at government, everything is face-to-face learning. So I guess this is just challenge them a little bit to step outside the box, to see what it might be like to take classes online, virtually, that they could be global citizens and global learners, that they don't have to limit themselves to what they could actually physically get to. I think that's a learning opportunity there. And it's even professionally, just there are going to be times where we have there's going to be times where we have online meetings, and just learning to keep your phone on mute, how to engage with people in a different platform. So I think it's a learning opportunity at the end of the day. I guess that might be the silver lining.
Yeah, one of the things that you talked on is being, engaged in your community and contributing to that. So I want to remind students and those staff that are connected and plugged in right now, that, you can do your census inventory and respond to that from home. You can do it online. You could do it, regular snail mail if you kind of want to detach yourself from the computer a little bit. You can also register to vote online, or at least download the paper, and mail in your voter registration to your local municipality. For those of you that don't know, I moved to Jersey about a year ago, and we actually vote for mayor in the middle of May. So I've made sure that my voter registration is up to date and done those things, and do it all remotely. But those are the examples of things that you can do to plug in, so that you are, like you said, engaged, and doing what you can as a global citizen and contributing to the betterment, still a Jesse Jackson word, of your community and of your neighborhood. So thank you for that. We've got a few things coming in from students, wanting to know if students have any questions for Mr. Bennett or for myself or Nestor. Are there any things that you see in the chat?
There's nothing coming up in the chat right now. I think one of the things that gets forgotten, and I was in a chat with students from the National Society of Leadership and Success earlier today, and we're talking about what the point that Christian made of it feels like it's the same day, and we are all meeting virtually through these applications. One of the things that we forget is that this is a tool, and the more we use it, the better we get at using these tools. And these are skills that can end up on your resume. So being able to produce in a virtual world, being able to network and present yourself virtually is a skill that I think a lot of us are going to have pretty finely tuned by the time this thing is over. And so, like, for me, the reminder of, while we're in the space of our houses, we're still learning, we're still doing things, we're still trying out new ways of doing stuff. And so, like, don't forget to keep yourself sharp, and maybe that's some of the conversations that the students could have with the peer mentors around, how do I take this as an opportunity to learn and upgrade my skill set. Some students are going onto YouTube and learning technology, how to code, how to write programs, how to do their hair, even some of how to do a really good French manicure, but also how to set up technology, how to create a remote workstation, how to use different programs. And so, like, right now, Zoom, WebEx, Ring Central, Teams 365, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, like, these are all tools that we're using. And I want to make sure we don't forget that opportunity to learn and become good at it, because it could go on your resume. It could be something that you present to employers.
Absolutely. There's a phenomenal opportunity to hone some skills, to learn some new things. I just want to take a moment to respond to a couple of things that popped up on my screen. I think it was Bilal who made a comment about what's going on in Wisconsin, and the idea that they're not going to extend the absentee ballots to go in. These are one of the reasons why we, as citizens, have to get involved in our local elections as well, because on the state level, and in certain counties, they determine what the voting system looks like, what the rules and parameters are, and that can be a challenge, especially when there's a local election coming up, which is going to be extremely highly contested, with folks really kind of planting their feet on both sides of the fence. So you're absolutely right. Many of us are disappointed in what's happening or what has developed in Wisconsin. But the only way that you can prevent that is by really getting engaged and being involved. Obviously, we can't do anything about what's happening in Wisconsin. What we can do is get involved in what happens here in New York City, in the New York State. So I hope that you all will see those things as examples of reasons why we should get engaged in the system and use your voice. Um, and your voice can really, shift a national election. When you look at how the electoral college system works, many of the states were won by, a few hundred thousand votes. So, and and the number of people that didn't vote in those states is actually greater than the difference. So the more you get engaged, the more impactful you can be. And when you go to vote, tell somebody else. When you fill out your census, ask your friends if they've, completed their census and things like that. So, please stay engaged. Someone also asked about Spring 2. Spring 2 starts on June 20th.
Hmm.
So please make sure that you write down the start date of that. And also, since we're in an online environment, to Drew's point about making lists, one of the exercises that I think is going to be very good for folks, especially as you're not, coming in and out of the physical building, is writing down your deadlines and putting those things on your calendar. You know, um, the cell phone today replaced about 10 things from when I was in college. You had to have a separate phone book, you had to have a planner, you had to have a separate calendar. And now that you have all those things in one, you have an opportunity to really, set some time aside and plug in your deadlines and when things are due.
Yeah.
So one of the dates that should go in there is the start of the next term. But
Right.
also use that tool to plan out your academics
Yeah.
and when your exams are, when things are due, so that you have a schedule. Drew, you gonna add
Yeah.
something?
I was. I've only taken two online classes in my life, and the first one I was doing really bad at in the beginning because we didn't have an exact login time. So every week it was like, next week I'll get to it, I'll get to it, I'll get to it, because we didn't have to log in at a specific time. Where most classes are, Wednesdays at 11 o'clock, and if you're not there, you get marked absent. So what the advice that I got, and which really helped out the second time around, on my second class rather, was actually putting a date and time on my calendar to log in and do my classwork, even though it's not like on my schedule. Like, create a schedule and stick to it. So students who are online having to adjust to that environment. I'm not sure if everybody has exact login times, but putting things on your calendar and sticking to a schedule really helps out, because tomorrow never comes. As my mom would say, I'm turning to my mom. Sheesh.
That's unavoidable, and I speak from experience. Drew,
And I want to.
Andrew, I was scanning our list here of students, and I noticed that some of your peer mentors are in the house. I don't know if you wanted to give them some shout outs.
I was, you know what? I was going to. I saw Bilal join. Let me see the chat. Bilal's in here. Shout out to my boss, Mr. Dr. Ambrose, Monica, Jacqueline, Zach. I see my pyramid is in the house. Hello, greetings. I miss you all very much.
And these are some of the examples of our students who are they're amazing, because not only are they doing their own student focused work and trying to get to their graduation, but they're also working hard to help members of the gun community get to that graduation.
Right.
And I say that word, and it's a triggering word for me right now, and I'm sorry to have to bring this up, but as we know, Dean Pryor, CUNY Central put out notice that the commencement ceremonies are being done away with. Is this something that has officially gone out to the community and everyone?
Yeah, I wouldn't use those terms to describe what's happening with commencement. I want to be clear and echo what our fearless chancellor has said with his phenomenal leadership, in that want to remind students that graduation and degree conferral will still happen. If you've completed all of your requirements, you will still get a government diploma. at the end of the spring 1 or spring 2 term, whenever you complete those requirements. The other thing is, uh, because of where we are, the idea that at the end of June, for us, that we'll be able to legally have an in-person commencement is just not fair to plan for, because there's just no guarantee that we'll be able to do that. That said, I'm working with Ms. Latoya Jackson, Dr. Evan Beck, and the senior staff and the leadership of the college to figure out how it is that we take the time and the opportunity to appropriately celebrate our graduates and those that have succeeded extremely well and received high academic honors as we typically would at a commencement. That said, there will still be an opportunity for some type of in-person commencement in the future. We just know that right now that won't be able to occur in the third week of June. So to say that commencement has gone away is inaccurate. What has happened is it's actually going to just look very differently this year. But our hope is that the feeling will be consistent with previous years, which is that it's going to continue to be a celebration of our students' academic success and achievement, and an opportunity for us as an institution to celebrate them and to honor them in a way that is appropriate for all of that they have accomplished and will accomplish going forward. So that's still in the works. What that looks like is, like I said, what we're working through right now. I had the benefit of being on a telephone or video conference call with another one of our wonderful leaders at the City University of New York, Dr. Jose Luis. He's currently serves as our executive vice chancellor, and and I had an opportunity to hear from other chief student affairs officers across the university, talking about how it is that we are going to, again, I'm going to use the word repeatedly, celebrate our students and their academic achievements. So there are a lot of ideas floating out there, a lot of things that are an opportunity. We want to make sure that we can execute each of those things in a way that is safe, in a way, again, that is appropriate, and in a way that doesn't hinder or minimize the celebration that our students have earned through their academic success and prowess. So it's something that we're working on, and I'm hopeful that within the next few weeks, we'll be able to share with our graduating students, our current students and our alums, and the government community at large, what our graduation celebrations will look like. In addition, as I said, we're going to continue with our Student Recognition Award ceremonies. So there will be information about that going out to students shortly. Because again, we want to make sure that we honor the contributions and the work that students have given to the college and to the college community over this past year. So.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that our students are celebrated for their journey, the completion of the academic rigor. So I'm hopeful. I'm one of those people. For me, the reason I do this work is because of that day, the opportunity to see students walk across the stage and get celebrated for that accomplishment, and I think that's a good one. We're at the halfway mark, boss, and we've got a ton of information to share with students. Are there any wrap-up comments that we want to make with peer mentoring as we adjust ourselves to bring out information about other engagements that we're offering at the campus? I'm going to start to just load those up onto the screen, but a number of those are coming to us from the Office of Accessibility Services that want to remind us about virtual engagements. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we give Andrew an opportunity to sign off and give us his last piece on the peer mentors.
No Jerry Springer final thoughts, but I just put our Instagram in the chat, Gutman Mentors. So I try not to bombard students with too many emails. So everything that we want to share will definitely go out on our Instagram. The Gutman Instagram page also does a good job of promoting our initiatives. But just continue to check your emails. And yeah, all our services are available online, and we'll continue to send that out probably once every 2 weeks, just as a reminder. But that's it for me.
Thank you, Drew. We appreciate you taking time from your schedule today to join us. Really appreciate the information. And I want to give a shout out to our peer mentors for the phenomenal job that they are doing. Keep up the good work. Stay engaged. And as always, please let me know if there's anything that I can do um, to be of assistance to you. Take care.
Thank you. Logging off. Oh, turning my camera off anyway.
All right. So as Drew begins to sign off, we do have information coming to you now that, like I said before, comes to us from the Office of Accessibility Services. That team has been working feverishly around the clock to ensure that we have content for our students. So one of the things I'm going to put on here first is, and I apologize, that's my 2-year-old in the background who's going so crazy.
Yeah, you can go ahead and mute your mic.
Okay.
So this comes from obviously our Office of Accessibility. There's a Museum of Disabilities trivia quiz show. You have an opportunity to win an Amazon gift card. So it's an ongoing opportunity and a fun way to engage and test your knowledge. You have until the 15th of April to go ahead and log and test your knowledge. So we hope you'll take the opportunity to go ahead and do that. Again, more programming and opportunities to engage. So Nesta will continue to go through the slides so that we can, get the information out to you. All of this is going to be available to you on the website. We wanted to share it with you here so that you can kind of see it here first, as a benefit of logging in to the State of the Grizz. And I want to thank you all for continuing to do that and hope that we see you each week here in this space. And also let us know who you would like to hear from so that we have an opportunity to bring those folks on. Here's a Real Abilities Film Festival, a number of different wonderful programs that you have an opportunity to log in and watch, sponsored by Accessibility Program, because April is Accessibility Awareness Month. So we wanted to make sure that we continue to bring that awareness to you. So here's continue some opportunities for that. You can go ahead to the next slides. So just again, this will all be available to you online. And if you have any questions, please reach out to our accessibility office, which is, you can reach them via email, accessibility@gutman.cuny.edu. And they can answer any questions that you might have to support you or to help you to get plugged in to all of these wonderful, wonderful programs that they have, which again, you can log in and engage with from the comfort of your own home. You can, engage and have conversations with other students that are participating in these things. And again, we hope that you will do so.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in here, just highlight this one. This movie night is being sponsored by the CCSD. They're one of our newest student organizations at Gutman campus, and so they're going to be hosting this movie night. The CUNY Coalition for Students with Disability at Gutman joins a pantheon of clubs and organizations across CUNY that allow our students with disabilities to connect and form those bonds with each other at Gutman and across the system. And so we're very excited for Luis Gutierrez, who's our advisor, and some of those other folks who, students who are doing this really good work. So Luis, you're in the chat?
I am here. Yes, we're very excited about it.
Do we know the movie, or is it a surprise? Is that what I'm reading?
They got to log in to find out.
Okay, so there you go, folks. You got it from the advisor for the CCSD himself. Log in and find out. There's the web link. It's a Zoom meeting, and you get to chat with your fellow students. So we're very happy for them to be providing that. Talking about chatting and feelings, we also have this check-in with wellness and health. Boss, we spoke about this the last time. But the mental health part of our operation is up and running and is here for the folks.
Yeah, as we go through this and we talk about the peak of the infections and those impacted and infected, the idea that as the peak and that happens, there's also a peak in anxiety around what's happening next. What does this mean for me? I know a number of folks have had struggles with employment and just trying to be comfortable with the mediums that we're now using to engage. And it's okay to have those feelings, and we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to talk with us, talk with someone, or help you plug into a space that helps you to manage those thoughts around what happens next and where we are now. So please take an opportunity to reach out to the wellness office, get a health screening just to kind of check in and see how you're doing. I know a number of us are even maybe taking care of folks in our households, and that can feel, a little tense. So please take some time to take care of you. As I always tell people, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're not checking in with you, you're not in a good position to help with those that are around you that need and support you. So you have to plug in and take care of you. Telecommuting services are available. So again, please take an opportunity to plug in. Our wellness office remains available to you. They've done a number of programs from yoga to some other video programs that are available. So please take the opportunity to check it out, and again, take care of yourself, because I'll say it again, you can't pour from an empty cup. All right. So I know many of us are supporting others, but you got to take some time to support and recharge your own batteries so that you can do all it is that you are doing in the virtual classroom spaces, also in your homes with your loved ones and family.
One of the things that we're discovering is that folks keep talking about the new normal. There's nothing normal about this, as you can see. We're trying to make this thing work.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and we're gonna make things work as best we can. To Nestor's point, none of this right now is normal, but this is our reality. And one of the things about this being a reality and it being real is there's a defined period of time that we are going to need support, from each other. And the hope is that we will continue, to connect students to be able to do that even after we return to campus. One of the goals in some of our virtual programming spaces is that you all will make connections with other folks from the Gutman community that you might not have had the opportunity to connect with before. Maybe there is someone that has similar interests as you, and you didn't know that, you weren't able to plug in because your schedules were different, you're in a different cohort or whatever it is. But through these virtual mediums and meeting spaces, we're hopeful that you'll be able to, again, connect with new folks, and maybe even connect with a service or a programming opportunity that you didn't think you had interest in, but it was something new, it piqued your interest, and you decided to take it on. So please take some time, again, to plug in. One of the things about everything being virtual, you're not necessarily commuting anymore. So maybe your commute was 45 minutes each direction. Mine was about an hour, and I try to reallocate that time to something else that I can really engage and plug into. So hopefully you'll take the opportunity to do that as well, because we continue to have programs, we continue to have fun programs, we continue to have curricular programs, and again, it's all available for you to plug in and engage with the institution and with your fellow Gutman Grizzlies. So we hope that you'll, again, take the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and thank you for highlighting that. I'm actually going to put on screen one of our first efforts. Boom, we've created this program. So starting tomorrow, the SGA, the Student Government Association, is going to be hosting the program called SGA Live. And our very first episode of that is going to be tomorrow at 3 o'clock via the same Blackboard Collaborate shell. We'll be sending out the web link later on today through the Instagram accounts and through the webpage. And Brittany, who is the secretary of the SGA, is going to talk about how to prepare for remote internship opportunities. Since a number of our students, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, are finding themselves working from home in front of a machine, a laptop, a desktop, a tablet, iPad, a phone, and they can't go to work, there still should be opportunities for them to feel like they're learning professional skills, that they're preparing themselves for the job market. And so Brittany is going to tell us about her experience with the internship program through the Center for Community Partnerships, the CCPP on campus, and then how she was able to then turn that into her experience working remotely for some of her internships right now. So this is an exciting new way for us to get the students together. While I'll be hosting the chat for them, this is going to be really student focused and guided, geared towards them. So we're just trying to find more ways for the students to come together and share knowledge with each other.
You know, and I want to extend an invitation to any student watching this live or watching the recording later. If you have things that you would like to share live as part of this program and others, please let us know. You know, reach out and get connected and tell your story of some of these successes that you are enjoying through this distance learning period, and maybe even, you know, give some helpful hints, things that have worked for you as we move through this period of time.
Yeah, the reality is that one of our students is probably going to create or discover the next great movement or solution that can help us make sense or work better, more efficiently through this time. You know, I'm a big advocate that our students are geniuses, and they just need opportunities to present us with their fabulous talent, skills, and abilities. And if there was ever a time that required outside the box thinking, that new looks at old problems or creative solutions, to like, this is the time for our students to step up in a big way and show us exactly what they know and how they're making sense of this. And I'm confident that that student is currently in existence, or should I say students, right, plural, is in existence within our community. So you know, the challenge is out there, students. If you're listening, and you know, to our colleagues, ask our students to solve some of these problems that have popped up, because the old ways ain't working, you know, and that's my little political rant
Right.
for today. The old ways are not working.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that, Nestor. But as you said, I think our students' talents and gifts, you know, right now is an opportunity for them to shine, to hone them, to shine and to bring that forward as we continue to roll on in time. So we're just at about 3:45 right now. So I want to take this opportunity to again thank everyone for logging in today. Thank everyone for their engagement. And like I said, please let us know if there are areas of the college that you would like us to engage in, and we can host folks here. We can create other chats. And again, open invitation to any student that has something that they want to share. You know, I know there was, I think it might still be active, a competition or an opportunity through our communications office for students to post a message to the government community and have a little bit of fun and really talk about some of the positive things that you're able to engage in and do during this period of time. So thank you again, Grizzlies, we got your back. And I'll see you next week. Take care.
All right, then Pride, thank you for taking us to the end of the show. That's what it feels like. We are very excited to be able to have this space. We're very blessed to have this space. It's a privilege to be in a working in an institution where we value our community, and we're doing our very best to meet their needs and connect with them. All of the ways are there. They're posted on our website. It's the main page now. Our government website directs to all of the different ways in which you can connect with our services, and to the people who are at the front end of those services. And so Community, please, if you need us, let us know so that we can show up and help out as best we can. We know this is not easy. We know that this is tough times, and that as we come out of this, a number of things are going to be different. And my hope is that we're able to come together, to heal together, and to grow together in whatever the steps are as we come out of the pandemic. And I wouldn't want to do that with any other team than the one that we have right now at our disposal. So, students, you're missed. Staff and colleagues, you're definitely missed. Boss, you're missed as well. That building, that 7-story campus is now missed more than ever. But I'm happy that we're able to see each other in this space, and we're gonna do this again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right. Take care, Grizzlies. We'll see you soon.
All righty.